Hello everyone, welcome to our live stream of the films of the top 10 movies which we have watched in the Geo MAMI Mumbai Film Festival 2023, which happened like a week ago. And like today we are I'm joined by Aseem Chhabra, who is the festival director of the other great film festival, which is in New York, which is the New York Indian Film Festival, and which usually happens in May. Yes. So he is a cinephile and he's an author. And today we are discussing some great films over here. एंड हम तो मिले भी थे यहाँ पे एक फिल्म लाइक आई थिंक दो तीन फिल्म देखने के लिए. सो लाइक आई एम क्वाइट एक्साइटेड टू होस्ट यू फॉर द थर्ड टाइम यहाँ पे. So let's start with you, Aseem, for like first three, and then like देखते हैं आगे आगे बढ़ते हैं वैसे. So first three कौन से अच्छे लगे from Mami?
So, Sanket, a few things. By the way, my New York Film Festival is really small as compared to this year's. MAMI was huge. मेरे ख्याल से 300 से ज्यादा फिल्में थी उनकी, and they're a really very strong international as well as very strong Indian South Asian collection. Secondly, um, and I'm not bragging or something. I go to many film festivals. I start the year with Berlin, then I went to Cannes in between, and then I went to क्या कहते हैं टोरंटो भी गया था, टेलीरॉइड भी गया था, और भी बीच बीच में बड़ी सारी आते थे. सनडांस में भी देखी थी फिल्में यहीं बैठ के ऑनलाइन. तो इन द इंटरनेशनल सेक्शन मैंने एक बार ही काउंट किया था, तो 34 ऑफ द इंटरनेशनल सेक्शन में जो फिल्म थी वो मैं पहले देख चुका था. एंड सो आई एम नॉट जस्ट seriously, and I'd seen about 30 to 40, I think about 35 or something in the Indian section, because Indian film, South Asian film, they were also showing films that were recap, which were like 2 or 3 years old, because Mami had promised them कि दिखाएंगे. तो 70 से ज्यादा फिल्में तो मैं देख चुका था. तो so I'm starting off at a base where I mean, some of the best films जो अब तुम्हारी लिस्ट में होंगी वो मेरी लिस्ट में शायद नहीं होंगी, क्योंकि मैं I'll only point out to you the ones I saw. So और मैंने alphabetic list बनाई है. It's not I couldn't do the ranking. So first three, I think on my second last day, and this is one film I had been wanting to see for a very long time. This documentary about the beginning of the war in Ukraine called 20 Days in Mariupol. बहुत ही effective, the brutality of war. And I've seen so many documentaries, especially in the last 10-15 years. मतलब इराक में वॉर हुई है, बहुत सी डॉक्यूमेंट्री बनी है. अफगानिस्तान में कितनी बनी है. सीरिया की जो सिविल वॉर चल रही थी, बहुत सारी डॉक्यूमेंट्रीज बनी है. इजिप्ट के लिए बनी थी. बट दिस वाज at a different level, really. And also it becomes so topical because of the war that's going on in Gaza, and you watch it and you realize that this is exactly what the poor Palestinians are going through also. So and it's, by the way, the front runner for the best documentary award. I will not be surprised, because the Ukraine war issue, Hollywood वगैरह में people are not divided. Mostly they're anti-Russia and anti-Putin and pro-Ukraine. ये गाजा की वॉर है, उसमें तो बहुत डिवीजन है. So anyway, if people can lay their hands on that film, बहुत powerful, very disturbing. It's an Associate Press का reporter है. It's from his point of view, and children and pregnant women and so many individual stories, really very, very powerful.
Okay.
So that alphabetically जाए तो A में सबसे पहले आती है वरुण ग्रोवर की ऑल इंडिया रैंक.
wow.
और so I mean alphabetically जा रहा हूँ इसलिए. I'm not at all saying, in fact my absolute favorite film वो S में आती है, वो लास्ट में है. तो मुझे बड़ी प्यारी लगी वरुण ग्रोवर की फिल्म. I mean, मैंने अभी 12th फेल भी 3 हफ्ते पहले देखी थी, and I was a little concerned that there will be a similarity of themes, but yes they are and no they are not. First of all, this 12th fail deals with the pressures to get into UPSC exams, and 12th fail is a very inspiring but a hard hitting film. Really, it's a very tough film to watch. Really, very disturbing, very sad. ये जो है ऑल इंडिया रैंक है, इसमें वरुण ग्रोवर का जो क्वर्की ह्यूमर है वो बहुत आता है.
Oh,
So
okay.
तुमने देखी? तुमने देखी?
नहीं,
I
मैंने
thought it was. हाँ.
एक्चुअली उसके शोज काफी लाइक मॉर्निंग, लाइक नॉट अर्ली, लाइक अर्ली आफ्टरनून में थे, लेट इवनिंग जैसे, लाइक अर्ली इवनिंग्स में भी थे, सो आई कुडंट कैच अप, वैसे हो गया था. सो दैट्स द रीजन आई कुडंट, लाइक ऐसे 6 बजे, एंड आई वाज लाइक लीविंग ऑफ माय ऑफिस बाय 6,
अच्छा
6:30,
होता
सो
है. Yeah.
दैट्स द रीजन.
Yeah. So I thought it was a very likable, very charming film. और तीसरी जो फिल्म मैंने टॉप में देखी है, वो मैं दूसरी बार देखी बिकॉज आई हैड लाइक्ड इट सो मच. मैंने कैन में देखी थी. इट्स कॉल्ड एनिमल किंगडम. इट्स अ फ्रेंच फिल्म. It works as a horror film, yet it has such a beautiful heart. It's about these, and it doesn't explain necessarily. I don't think it explains. I've seen it twice now. Why it happens, but some human beings are turning into animals, into birds and reptiles, and some are not. And it's a story about one family, but and how even though those some of those animals, though they're very colorful and beautiful, they look quite scary. Yet they're really beautiful and very special. So Animal Kingdom is a very smart film, really intelligent. Um, and उसके end में काफी तालियां बजी. So I'm so glad that the audience liked it so much, really. Um, so those are my first three choices. तुम बताओ.
Oh, sure. Okay. Okay. Unlike you, I'm going in a chronological order of the viewing dates. Like कभी like first दिन पे कैसे देखे, और first दिन से second दिन से कौन सी मेरी favorite लगी तब से. So first, मेरी favorite लगी the like I मुझे इतनी ज़्यादा अच्छी नहीं लगी, but okay, I'll include it somehow. Just this is The Delinquents. आई नो आपको ये फिल्म बहुत अच्छी लगी है.
अच्छी
इट्स
लगी थी. I won't say it's my top film, but I found it very interesting. But anyway,
इंटरेस्टिंग, करेक्ट.
talk to me about why you liked it.
The just the editing techniques, Aseem, like it's so amazing कि पहले यहाँ पे कुछ चल रहा है, and like side by side कुछ चल रहा है, like they're telling the stories from two perspectives, and then creating like a scenario की like बीच में क्या क्या like similarities हो रही है, and just to show them the similarities कि कैसे दोनों characters वहाँ पे, the lead character who, the one who has done the heist and the other one who is suffering from the heist, and दोनों smoke कर रहे हैं, और like दोनों की actions यहाँ पे like similar हो रहे हैं, and just and then later on like दोनों एक ही लड़की के ऊपर फिदा हो रहे थे. Like it's quite a unique thing, I would say. Like वो चीज, like it was quite good for me, and it worked very well. Just थोड़ी ड्रैग जैसा लगी कि like okay, काफी लंबी
It's
चल
really
रही
long, 2.5 hours long. Yeah.
like it's 3 hours long actually.
Oh,
So
really? Okay.
exactly, it's 3 hours 10 minutes with like the official timing, but I counted out कि okay 3 घंटा exact हुआ था वैसे था. So I like मुझे थोड़ा काफी लंबा लगा, but it's okay. I enjoyed the movie at the end. So this is my first pick. The second one is Slow, which is a Lithuanian film. I loved every bit of that क्योंकि I haven't heard about the story at all. और मैं गया तो just how lovely they have shown on-screen romance in this film. Just uh, like an asexual person, a boy, an asexual boy fall like who's the sorry, a girl who is falling in love with an asexual boy, and okay, it's just an unbelievable story कि कैसे वो लड़की just उस इंसान के साथ रहती है. एट द एंड उस इंसान वो इंसान उसके ऊपर जस्ट चीट भी नहीं करता, कुछ भी नहीं करता, बस उसके साथ रहता है, उसको एक सहारा देता है, एंड इट्स such a beautiful take on love. It's so well shot. I think so ये साल की कुछ रनर अप हो सकती है. Like let's see. I wouldn't be surprised. Like जैसे आपने बोला कि जो यूक्रेन वाली डॉक्यूमेंट्री है, it will be a runner up for Oscars for best documentary. this can be a runner up for best international feature. I think Lithuania की entry होगी, I don't
Hmm.
know. अब तक I think submit हो जाती है, submissions आ जाते हैं वैसे. So I'm
मैं
hoping for
चेक कर
that.
रहा हूँ. हाँ, हाँ, हाँ.
But I will be all in for winning this film if this film wins. If this film nominates वैसे. So yes, मैं actually मैंने एक rewatch की थी, लेकिन ठीक है, like इतनी अच्छी नहीं थी वो rewatch. लेकिन yes, मेरी फिर third film थी इंदिराज इमरजेंसी.
वो मैंने
I
नहीं देखी अनफॉर्चुनेटली. हाँ.
no, I think you should watch it. Like I think you will relate to that era. You have lived through that
No, no,
era,
I
so,
remember that
so
time very well. I was
absolutely.
young,
So,
but I remember it very well. Yeah.
no, absolutely. इसलिए so you should definitely watch this film. It's very well researched and very well narrated documentary. Like it has a great narration by Swanan Kirkare, and it also has some kind of animation as well, because they couldn't recreate the entire, like, because they didn't have the footage, so they had to recreate those scenes. They did it via animation, so it was quite well done by Vikramaditya Motwan, like an amazing choice for the narration. So I just loved it. Like it was purely in Hindi, and I later got to know that it is a three-part like docu series. Um, I from someone, I don't know whom, but
अच्छा.
later got to know. But in the theater, we were shown it as a three-chapter documentary. So I'm
Okay.
probably hoping to, like, they will break it down, all those chapters, into 3 episodes, and they'll release it soon. So let's see. I'm like hoping to get a, like, they are it's quite relevant documentary over here, so right now, so I'm hoping it releases very soon, and hoping people would love it as well. So these are my first three picks. So Asim, up to you next. What are your
Okay, so
next
I'm going by, of course, alphabetic
chronology?
order.
Yes, alphabetically,
So
yes.
next one is a Turkish film called Hesitation Wound,
Okay.
which I learned that it's actually going to be released in theaters in India, which I don't think I don't know when was the last time a Turkish film opened. Uh, so my friend Anu Rangachar, who was the head of the international world cinema programming, she had recommended it, and I had somehow missed it. I think it was shown at Venice.
Hmm.
Um, and it was the first film I saw because the festival started on Friday and I didn't see anything on Friday.
Hmm.
Um, so it was the second day in the morning. Very powerful story about a trial that's going on from the point of view of the lawyer. And she has her own personal life is in a big mess because her mother's not been well, and so she's dealing with that hospitalization of her mother and her sister while she's trying to defend a client who may or may not have killed his boss. And the reference to hesitation wound comes from, you realize that that client had tried to commit suicide. There are markings on his wrists in the
Okay.
past. So, but it's I think it has a deeper meaning also. Uh,
Okay.
Very gripping, powerful film, Hesitation Wound.
Okay, is it like,
Um,
has it premiered in some other festivals, or like
I
some
think I think
known
I think
festival?
Venice में दिखाई थी.
Okay.
Um, it's possible it came to Toronto, although Toronto gets a lot of Venice films. And I've been to Toronto, I wasn't in Venice,
Hmm.
पर मैंने तो मामी में देखी अभी.
Okay.
Um, and since okay, the next one I'm seeing is a film that I watched. It's
Hmm.
uh, it's about 13, 14 years old. It's called I Am Love, which is it has Tilda Swinton in it. So Luca
Luca Guadagnino, yes.
Guadagnino, because he was a recipient of a Lifetime Achievement Award.
Hmm.
Uh, this was actually one of his early films. Um, I think after this he made I forget what it was. It was a bigger splash, which is a
Hmm.
takeoff on swimming pool. That also had Tilda Swinton, and of course he made Call Me by Your Name, and he made this other film, not
It
Rustin,
was
no.
a like a love trilogy, right, Asim? Like this,
Well, it's a
a bigger
story
splash.
about it's a story about it's a, first of all it's set in Italy and beautifully shot, and Tilda Swinton looks very stylish, etc. Which comes from a very wealthy, rich family. There's not much of between a husband. There's not much going on. There's no attraction as such. But there's it's okay. Her son is trying to open a restaurant and becomes a very good friend with a chef who's trying to open a restaurant. And Tilda Swinton's character gets attracted to her son's friend and starts a relationship with him. So it's while it is shocking in terms of there's an age gap between the woman and the man and everything else, it's also and it's very sexy and beautifully shot. Um, Very disturbing in the end. I won't give away how it
Mm.
ends. If you guys can lay your hand on I Am Love, I mean, I was so happy to see it because I saw it in New York 13, 14 years ago when it opened in theaters. The sprint was great. It wasn't very good, but it was still very good. But I'm glad they showed it, really. I thought I Am Love was very good. Uh, and then the other film that I liked, which I had been trying to, I missed it in Cannes as well as in Toronto
Festival.
because it's again
Mm.
3+ hours long. It's a Vietnamese film called Inside the Yellow Cocoon Shell.
Okay.
It's also a very, very slow paced film, so you try and be awake to watch it really. Uh,
Much like the
very
delinquents.
no, no, no.
Like
This
वो
is this is
pacing में ऐसा कुछ.
no Delinquent starts off as a thriller because of the robbery and then becomes a different story with these two men both falling in love. No, this is a story about a young man whose brother has been missing for a very long time, and his sister-in-law dies in a motorcycle accident and leaves behind a little boy, his nephew, and how he takes a little nephew to the rural countryside, but also in search of his brother. But it has a very sort of this gentle, dream-like kind of that you sometimes see mist in the cloud, you see moths. It's the pacing is very slow, and yet it has a very if it grabs you, it really truly grabs you. So it won the Camera d'Or at Cannes, which is the
Wow.
award given to the best first
Debutant
time
director.
director, a debut
Yes.
director, which Meera Nair got for Salam Bombay, and of course over the years many people have gotten. So
Mm.
I really liked Inside the Yellow Cocoon, and I know exactly. I'm so glad I finally got to see it. मैंने 11 11:30 का शो देखा था. I was pretty much awake because मुझे यही डर था कि लेट देखूंगा तो नींद ना आ जाए. बहुत अच्छी, बहुत प्यारी, बहुत प्यारी फिल्म है. हाँ.
Wow, that's great. Hesitation Wound, I'm Love, and Inside the Yellow Cocoon.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh wow. So that's great. So my next three picks are Ambush, which is Gath,
Oh,
which
I've
is
seen it. Yeah.
directed by, yes, it's directed by Chhatrapal Ninave,
Mm.
and like बहुत अच्छी लगी. It's I've seen like I followed this film from the past like 1 year because Chhatrapal Ninave started telling about his film Gath on social media because Geo Cinema rejected his film to show in theaters. I think release it theatrically, and like he was a Berlinale talent winner or something like
It was
that.
in Berlin.
So,
Yeah.
correct. So this film premiered in Berlinale in 2023, and it like it was good, and I'd heard it like it's been good. So let's see that I was quite excited for watching this film because he was telling that it's like it doesn't harm any sentiments or something like that. Nothing. It's just a film about tribals. That's it. So I was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
okay, I'll definitely watch this film, and I
And
watched this
and
film.
and Tribal and a Cop.
Yes, absolutely. Tribals and a cop. Like it's also like a three-part story. जैसे कैसे तीन part में like from perspective of a person like and the another person a cop and then a woman who is in middle of those conflict between cops and the rebels. So it was quite an amazing film. Um, just loved how they like use the local dialect as well and the local actors as well because वहाँ पे I मतलब मैंने attend किया था उनका जो Q&A session था and मैंने like वहाँ पे question ही पूछा like some people actually ask questions and like I like get to know like उन लोग कहाँ से like what level the acting was. I just absolutely loved the way they shot the film as well, and
Also,
how the
that tribal character who lives on that island,
hmm.
I mean, he was so amazing.
और उनको एक्चुअली ब्रीफ वही दिया था कि आपको बस वहां पे जाना है, आपको सोचना है कि ऐसा अगर इंसान को ऐसा रहा तो आपको क्या करना रहेगा, और दैट्स इट, एंड देयर वाजंट एनीथिंग मच, सो ही जस्ट मेड इट अप, एंड लाइक वही उनकी एक्टिंग थी और एक्टिंग नोट्स थी, एंड ही जस्ट like he was just amazing, like और वो एक एक सीन जहाँ पे like I'm just giving away some small thing that वो जब भी मर जाता है तो तभी I was like क्या हो गया बाप रे, like oh my god, like when Jitendra Joshi's character, the cop who shoots him, just it was a shocking moment in the entire film. Like काफी सारे like shocking moments आते थे, like very shocking moments, क्योंकि आप expect नहीं कर सकते थे कि ऐसे होगा, लेकिन ये हो रहा था. So it was amazing film. I hope ये film जल्द से जल्द release हो. वैसे so moving on to the next film, which is Agra. I think आपने तो ये film बहुत पहले देख ली है सर, तो वैसे तो
दो बार ही देखी है मैंने, हाँ.
2 बार देखिए, सो ये तो आपके लिए इतना लाइक नया नहीं रहेगा, लेकिन I have seen this. I was the first Indian audience to see this
Yeah,
because ये Asia.
I did the Q&A at that audience. Yeah,
Yes, I have also attended the Q&A as well. Yes, and also you were in the Q&A. I'm so sorry.
yeah,
आपने
yeah.
तो Q&A host किया था. Yes, I also shot the video. मैंने वहाँ पे questions भी पूछे थे कनुवेल से. I just loved the way कैसे वो जो टॉपिक को हैंडल किया था, जैसे और आपने रेलेवेंट क्वेश्चन पूछे थे, और वहाँ पे उन्होंने बहुत अच्छे से उन्होंने वो आंसर किए थे कि एक एक यंगस्टर, एक अर्ली 20s के इंसान के दिमाग में क्या चलता है अबाउट हैविंग सेक्स एंड हिज सेक्सुअलिटी, और क्या क्या हो रहा है, जस्ट इमेजिनिंग द पीपल. एंड आई नो, मतलब वो जो ऐसे थॉट्स आते रहते हैं, और आई थिंक वो जो बोल रहे थे कनुबेल कि उनके दिमाग में भी ऐसे कुछ आ रहे थे, लाइक ही
When
वाज
he was a teenager. Yeah.
एब्सोल्युटली. और यार डेफिनेटली इट वाज अ ग्रेट मूवी, आई वुड से, like and absolutely a bold choice to just show those sex scenes on screen, because और उनको ही पता था कि यार ये सब चीजें रिलीज लाइक होने में काफी तकलीफें आएगी उनको इन इंडियन थिएटर्स एज वेल एज इंडियन ओटीटी डिजिटल स्पेस एज वेल. So I think this was the best audience for watching this film, and I've been the lucky one because मैंने ये film देखी. मैंने कैनेडी स्किप कर दी. मैं सोचा कि कैनेडी एक बार आ जाएगी, आगरा का आना मुश्किल होगा, और वैसे हो गया. सो आई वाज लाइक ऑल इन फॉर आगरा, एंड आई एब्सोल्युटली लव्ड इट वैसे.
Yeah.
सो डेफिनेटली लाइक मुझे अच्छी लगी. एंड द नेक्स्ट वन आई वुड लव टू टॉक अबाउट इज वॉयजेस ऑन इटली. लाइक आई थिंक
Which
वो
I
फ्रेंच
don't know
में
anything about. Tell me. Yeah.
फ्रेंच में वो उस पर अनाउंस करते. इट्स डायरेक्टेड बाय अ पर्सन कॉल्ड सोफी लेतितो. एंड लाइक मैं फ्रेंच
Anyway.
प्रोनाउंसिएशन करने में काफी मुश्किल ही होती है, जैसे आपने मुझे सुधारा तभी था जब लिया सोदो का प्रोनाउंस कर रहा था तभी. सो इसलिए सो वैसे सो इट्स लाइक इट्स अ गुड फिल्म. इट्स जैसे मैंने मिडनाइट इन पेरिस देख रहा था वैसे ही लग रहा था कि लाइक इट्स
Oh, really?
अबाउट
Acha.
it's about a couple going for a voyage in Italy and just enjoying कैसे बस बातचीत कर रहे क्या क्या हो रही है, बस ऐसे कॉमेडी ड्रामा उनके बीच में हो रही है. हाँ, वो सारे एलिमेंट्स नहीं थी जैसे मिडनाइट इन पेरिस में थी. लाइक ही वाज अ नॉवेलिस्ट एंड स्टफ लाइक दैट. वो सारी एलिमेंट्स नहीं थी, बट इट वाज अ गुड फन वॉच. लास्ट में इट काइंड ऑफ मतलब उन लोग सब बातें करते रहते कि हम लोग ने वो किया, हम लोग ने वो किया, ये सब किया, बट दैट बिट अगर वो शॉर्टन हो जाता तो इट वुड हैव बीन अ वेरी वंडरफुल वॉच. बट ओवरऑल अगर आप देखोगे इट्स लाइक अ डॉक्यूमेंट्री बिकॉज इट्स वेरी लो बजट शॉट. लाइक आपको
Hmm.
मैंने जब भी सोफी लिटोर जो आए थे, मिस सोफी, वो जब भी आए थे
Hmm.
फेस्टिवल अटेंड करने, लाइक
Hmm.
सो
Hmm.
उनको मैं पूछा कि हाउ डिड यू शूट दिस फिल्म एंड हाउ डिड यू गेट द परमिशंस टू, मतलब ये सब परमिशंस कैसे मिले? बोले कि यार बस बैग में कैमरा डाला और ले लिया, मेरी मतलब ऐसे विदाउट परमिशन ही करते थे हम तो यार, यही सब था। सो उन्होंने बोला कि यार यही तो इंडी फिल्म्स ऐसे ही तो शूट कर सकते हैं, और कैसे, और कुछ कर ही नहीं सकते। आई वॉज लाइक सच में वो फिल्म ऐसे दिख रहा है वो कि एज अ डॉक्यूमेंट्री जैसे शूट कर रहे हैं
Hmm.
वैसे।
Hmm.
अमेजिंग फिल्म, यू शुड चेक इट आउट। बट मैं वैसे कि बोला इट्स लास्ट पार्ट थोड़ा ट्रिम हो सकता था, वो अगर करते तो बहुत अच्छा होता। सो यस, गाथ, आगरा और वॉयजेस इटली आर माय नेक्स्ट थ्री
Hmm.
पिक्स। सो द लास्ट थ्री पिक्स फॉर यू, असीम?
Okay, my last three, and then I'll talk about my most favorite.
Yes, the golden pick.
So Maestro,
Oh,
directed by Bradley Cooper. Uh, I mean, it was on. I think it was shown in Venice and it was shown at the New York Film Festival, and I wasn't in both the places, so I missed it. So I was very excited that Mami was showing it, and I watched it in that Nita Mukesh Ambani Convention Center theater. Um, it's a true story about Leonard Bernstein, who was a very well known composer, New York based composer. He was the head of the New York Philharmonic. Um, very well acted by Bradley Cooper. But more important, Carrie. What's her name, yaar? Uh, Gosh, I'm blanking on. It's going to come back to me in a second. But
I'll
it's
just
it's yeah. I don't know why I'm.
no, no, I'll just check it out. Who's the actress in Maestro?
Yeah. I don't know why I'm missing it. Carrie Mulligan.
Carey Mulligan. Okay, yes.
Um, I wouldn't have been able to sleep without seeing her. My God, her performance was so good. I've liked her in so many films, and I think this is probably her best performance, really.
But
Um,
चांस उनको ऑस्कर नॉमिनेशन ऐसा
no,
कुछ
Oscar
मिला?
nomination, तो most probably मिल जाएगा. I don't know. I think her performance is very strong. But Lily Gladstone, who played Molly in The Killers of the Flower Moon, uh, I think people are just completely blown away by her, the warm performance that she has. So let's see, who knows? But Maestro, it's a true story. Uh, Leonard Bernstein was, I guess you can say, bisexual. He had a gay side of her life, and he marries a woman and has kids also. Um, and all the while, his wife is aware of it. There's even a boyfriend in the scene, and so so Carrie Mulligan plays a very moving performance of a suffering wife, basically, and he loves his wife also. I mean, it was very well done, I thought. So, and Maestro, I think might open in India sooner or later. I would hope so. The next
इवेंचुअली
film
नेटफ्लिक्स तो आ ही जाएगी.
eventually, माने अभी release होगी तो there's nothing objectionable in the
But
film. That
wanted to ask you, in like Maestro, Bradley Cooper, how was he in
He was
acting terms?
fantastic, yeah. I mean, he went through this prosthetics that they added a nose, etc., to make it a longer Jewish nose. But he's fantastic. The energy level and as a composer and and what's fantastic was I didn't realize it because Steven Spielberg had earlier tried to make the film, and then the film came to Bradley Cooper. But Steven Spielberg and Martin Scorsese are two producers, three producers: Spielberg, Martin Scorsese, and Bradley Cooper. So I thought that was a really fascinating thing. It's quite it's a major film, and I'm so glad Mami got it. It's a very major film for this year.
Wow.
Uh,
And to
the
watch this
next,
film in NMACC and like.
yeah, I mean, I saw it there. The next film is again an old film which I saw in 1992. It's Meera Nair's Mississippi Masala, uh, which was her second narrative feature film. And I mean, I saw the film this time. I've seen it a few times, two or three times before, uh, because I did a conversation with Meera Nair and her scriptwriter, Sunita Purwala. Um, it's a fascinating story about, you see, in the late 70s, uh, Uganda, mein Idi Amin, this military dictator, he decided to throw out all the Asians, Indians, basically, or people of Indian origin.
Hmm.
And so thousands and thousands. I mean, how many lakhs were thrown out because they've been living there 2, 3 generations. They were, their grandparents were born there, or I think the grandparents went there to build railroads, were taken by the British, and the parents were born there. So they were thrown out, and many moved to UK. UK gave many moved to Canada, but many moved also to the US and especially the US South. But Mira takes that story of people expelled and then also connects with a story about in America's South there are many motels actually run by Gujarati Patels, and they're called Patel motels. So it's a story about these Gujaratis who were expelled and then they open the motel, and it's also a beautiful story about interracial love. So Sarita Chaudhary, who there was her first film, plays the young daughter of Sharmila Tagore and Roshan Seth, the
Hmm.
family that expels, and she starts an affair with a young Denzel Washington. Denzel Washington was very very young at that time. He had gotten an Oscar for Glory, and he'd been in More Better Blues, and he'd been in a television show, but he'd already become a star, but not as big a star as he is right now.
Hmm.
So it looks at race relations, it looks at racism as the Indians community, the racism within the Black African community, and it looks like um, uh, diaspora and immigrants being expelled. So it has many layers, but a very wonderful film that people should lay their hands on, try and get it. Uh,
Hmm.
the next film I saw was a musical. It's a concert film basically. Ryuichi Sakamoto opus. So I don't know if you know Ryuichi Sakamoto's name. Ryuichi Sakamoto was a Japanese composer who
He
uh,
composed the music for The Last Emperor,
Monster.
right?
Last Emperor, but Monster was his last film he composed for.
Okay.
So uh,
The Korida's film, right?
yeah, he died of throat cancer. I'm sorry,
Hmm.
just early this year at the age of he hadn't even turned 71. He was 70. So it's basically him. It's a black and white film and his piano, and he's playing, and we don't even see any audience. But I don't know if there was an audience or not. But it's basically him, and he's playing his compositions. And so Last Emperor is a big one. He play, of course, a big part of the music. Uh, One of the first films of his that I actually realized who he was it's a film with David Bowie called Merry Christmas, Mr. Lawrence, which was
Hmm.
made in the mid '80s, in which Ryuichi Sakamoto also acts. He also acted in Last Emperor. So the
Hmm.
soundtrack of that film is very brilliant. And then there is a film he made, composed for Bertolucci called The Sheltering Sky.
Okay.
So Last Emperor also, but he's composed music for so many. He's composed music for Pedro Almodovar, some leading world filmmakers as well as Japanese films. So, but it
Okay.
was a real and it was so beautiful because the audience, it was not a packed theater. It was in the afternoon I was watching, but after every piece, people would clap like as if they were watching a live music performance.
Oh wow.
So बहुत अच्छी लगी मुझे. And some of my favorite composition soundtrack scores he played, so it was very nice.
Oh
So
wow.
yeah,
ये कहाँ पे?
there's actually, if you ever get to see Ryuichi Sakamoto opus, there's a
Okay.
companion film which was made about 2 3 years ago called Ryuichi Sakamoto Coda, which I
Hmm.
think is playing a movie
Yes.
in which he's interviewed and he talks about his music, his journey, and he talks about his cancer and that. In this, he doesn't talk.
Hmm. Okay.
So
Okay. Sure. Oh wow. That's
yeah,
three great picks: Maestro and Mississippi Masala and Ryushi Sakamoto Opus. Yes.
opus, yeah.
Yes. So my final three picks before the golden pick would be okay. ये फिल्म मैंने देखी थी, एक मिनट, हाँ, यस, ओके, जोरम. सो सो मुझे लाइक आपने आपके रिकमेंडेशन से मैं गया था वो फिल्म देखने, एंड लाइक यू सेड दैट इट्स क्वाइट अ डार्क फिल्म. एंड ओके, मैं एक्साइटेड था ये फिल्म देखने के लिए. आई वाज लाइक फॉलोइंग Manoj Bajpayee and even Devashish Makhija as well on Instagram, that they are making like a film together after Bhosle, and I've seen Bhosle as well quite years back in MAMI, and I was quite excited to watch this film because like he's a guy who comes up with these kind of uh, social political films, and like this was one of them. And it was an amazing thriller because लाइक उन्होंने भी वही बोला था कि यू नो द स्टोरी राइट, कि एक बच्चा रहता लाइक द who Manoj Bajpayee is on the run with his with his
His
daughter,
child.
like a
Yeah.
3 month 4 month old daughter, and she like they are on the run from the local authorities, I would say. And like मतलब वही उन्होंने भी वही बोल दिया था देवाशीष मक्खीजा ने इन द Q&A सेशन कि यार ये फिल्म में सिर्फ वो 4 मंथ्स ओल्ड के डॉटर का कैरेक्टर हटा दो, पूरी स्टोरी अलग दिखेगी। एंड लेकिन आपका ध्यान, आपका आपका जिगर उसमें ही अटका पड़ा रहेगा कि उस बच्ची को कुछ ना हो जाए, उस बच्ची को कुछ ना हो जाए कि जब भी आप लाइक उस पे ही। एंड वो सच बोल रहे थे कि जब भी मैंने ये फिल्म देखी तो तभी आई फेल्ट द सेम कि यार उस बच्ची को कैसे क्या होगा, उस बच्ची पे को क्या होगा। एंड such an amazing film. I loved Manoj Bajpayee's acting, and equally loved Mohammad Zishan Ayub's acting as well.
Yeah, he was very good, Mohammed Jishan. Yeah, yeah.
Amazing, yeah, सच में like बहुत अच्छी लगी like उन दोनों की performances. I
So it's
hope
opening in December. I think it's opening.
it's opening in December, on December 8th,
Right.
just 1 week after Animal release. But देखते हैं यार कितने shows मिलते हैं वैसे, क्योंकि बहुत छोटी फिल्म है, but they have Z's backing, so let's see how Z distributes this film. Like I don't think
Hmm.
इसमें मतलब सेंसरशिप वाली चीजें तो कुछ है नहीं, सो आई होप यूए सर्टिफिकेशन में अच्छी रिलीज मिल जाए यार। आई
Hmm.
फील पीपल शुड वॉच दिस फिल्म वैसे। सो द नेक्स्ट फिल्म इज लाइक जो मुझे अच्छी लगी, आई एम जस्ट गोइंग लाइक थोड़ा रिलीज डेट के वाइज, और ये थी, कौन सी थी, शिवम्मा करके। आई
Oh,
आई
Shivamma, the lady who sells the yeah. मैंने शिवम्मा अभी 2 दिन पहले देखी, मुझे लिंक मिला था. I thought it was
ओके
very good.
लाइक काफी
हाँ.
फनी थी वो। और
Yeah,
लाइक
it's
इट्स
really
द
sad also. हाँ.
सैड एंड फनी बिकॉज लाइक एक मोमेंट आता है कि देयर इज अ फ्यूनरल, और उसमें उस औरत के बारे में क्या क्या चीजें बोली जा रही थी कि मेरा भाई मर गया तेरे वजह से, मेरा भाई मर गया इसके वजह से, ये वजह से, वो वजह से। एंड इट वाज फनी बट इट वाज लाइक इक्वली सैड एज वेल। Like it was so such an like unpredictable जैसा फिल्म था, like a woman selling baby formula, sorry, food formula, and
Yeah,
for
it's like a
that
protein shake or something. Yeah, yeah, something
yes,
like that.
protein shake or something like। और लोग यहाँ पे पैसे कमा रहे थे, वहाँ पे जो एंटरप्रेन्योर्स थे, और यहाँ पे ये औरत बेचारी मतलब ये बेचा कर रही थी, ये कर रही थी, मतलब क्या करे, वैसे हो गया था लाइक
Hmm.
मतलब मुझे बहुत मजा आया ये फिल्म देख के
मुझे
लाइक
उसकी एंडिंग आई वोंट गिव अवे बट एंडिंग बहुत पसंद आई. वो गली में है और उसका मिक्सी ब्लेंडर का साउंड आ रहा है अंदर से. तो आई वोंट गिव अवे.
आई नो आई मजा आ गया था लाइक और लोग देख रहे हो ये फिर से शुरू वैसे लाइक जस्ट अमेजिंग वो फिल्म। सो मैंने वो देखी थी, और फिल्म देखी विच कलर, which app
Yeah,
recommended you to watch this film?
and I saw it yesterday, by the way.
Oh wow!
You connected me with the director, and he actually came to meet me. He met me at the closing night ceremony, so he sent me a link, and I just watched it yesterday, last night.
Oh wow! I like the entire film. Like जैसा लग रहा था कि यार डॉक्यूमेंट्री देख रहे हैं यहाँ पे, लेकिन डॉक्यूमेंट्री नहीं है। जैसे लाइक एक दूसरे के साथ ऐसे बातें कर रहे हैं वहाँ पे, जैसे लोग खेल रहे हैं, जस्ट लाइक how brilliantly he has synchronized his camera and the actors, और वो भी चाइल्ड आर्टिस्ट, सो
Yeah, yeah,
अमेजिंग।
yeah.
लाइक उन लोग वहाँ पे क्रिकेट खेलते, सॉरी कुछ एक गेम खेल रहे, कयो विच कलर उन लोग
Which
गेम
color
खेल।
game खेल रहे हैं, और वो रूस्टर्स को पकड़ने की कोशिश करते हैं.
हाँ
वो
सच
जो
में
चिकन जो मुर्गे थे. हाँ.
करेक्ट। और लाइक
हाँ.
इतनी अमेजिंग फिल्म थी, लाइक लाइक कितनी अमेजिंगली वो एक लाइक वो क्लास लाइक जस्ट एक पैसे चाहिए रहते हैं, और उसके बारे में वो अच्छे से बात करते। अमेजिंग फिल्म। योर टेक, आई जस्ट वांट टू हियर
No, no,
फ्रॉम यू।
I thought it's not very often that you see sort of middle class, lower middle class Muslim families story.
Hmm.
And the way the film unfolds, I remember a few years ago there was a film called Ani Mani, also about a Muslim family, but
Hmm.
that had a sort of a tragic political tone to it. Nasir also had the same. But what I liked about this was that this was just looking at a daily life of a lower middle income Muslim family where
Hmm.
financial pressures hai. The husband doesn't have a work. But I love the fact that the sister, her husband has become so well off. They're living in this big house. Um, Various characters, the grandmother, the grandfather, the children, and their daily life. I thought there was something really beautiful about it. The girls playing inside, doctor khel rahi hai. Um, but it has a very raw indie film.
Hmm.
When you talk about independent cinema, it's a true independent cinema, the way it's made, and
Hmm.
yet it's not at all boring. It's very pleasing. It's very, you connect with all the characters, the kids especially, but even the adults.
Hmm.
So yeah, the kayo color, right?
यस
kayo
कयो कयो कलर इन
kayo color,
गुजराती में.
yeah, which color?
बट
मुझे बहुत अच्छी
एक एक शिकायत थी जस्ट ये फिल्म से, लाइक द मतलब टाइटल ऑफ द फिल्म इज इन गुजराती, बट
तो
ये
सारी फिल्म
फिल्म,
तो हिंदी उर्दू में थी.
हाँ लाइक वो जो डॉक्टर वाला, सॉरी वो जो एक सेक्शन रहता है जहाँ पे दो लड़कियां खेलती है, दैट्स लाइक वो वेजिटेबल सेलर और लाइक वो कस्टमर रहते हैं वहाँ पे, तो वो वाला सेक्शन ही इन टोटल गुजराती में है, बाकी
Yeah,
पूरा
yeah,
फिल्म
yeah.
हिंदी में. लाइक एड अ कंप्लेन दैट कि यार अगर तुम्हारा लाइक आपका फिल्म पूरा पूरा टाइटल इसमें है लाइक गुजराती में, आई वाज
Yeah,
एक्सपेक्टिंग दिस फिल्म टू बी इन गुजराती, because
uh,
obviously there are people, Muslims in Gujarat, living in Gujarat, talking in Gujarati,
in, in
speaking in
Ahmedabad. Yeah,
Gujarati.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Absolutely. So I
yeah,
was
yeah.
expecting to be a Gujarati film, but ये हिंदी में थी. So I had this mindset. I was expecting to be in Gujarati film because Gujarati films ऐसे festivals में हार्डली क्या कुछ भी नहीं आती, एक आध भी नहीं आती, और ये आई, सो आई वाज एक्साइटेड. एंड मैं ये फिल्म को काफी रॉटरडम में जब भी इस फिल्म का वर्ल्ड प्रीमियर हुआ था तभी आई वाज like
Following it, right?
tracing this film.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
following this film absolutely.
yeah.
So I loved this film. So the final golden pick for you, Asim,
So
what
my
would it
golden
be?
pick, you've already you already mentioned it. I loved Slow, and Slow was shown at the Sundance Film Festival, and Sundance को मैंने online देखा था, and somehow I missed it. उसके बाद, I mean, it was the back of my mind, and some friends saw it at various festivals and all. But um, I absolutely loved it. I mean, it's a very romantic film,
Hmm.
but I've never understood what asexuality means till I watched this film. I mean, here you have this tall, handsome, very likable, charming man, and he's just not interested in sex. I mean, he's obviously straight because he wants to be with a woman. I mean, so he's not gay or something like that, but he's not interested in having sex with her. He's not interested in sex at all, and she wants sex. Um, and so there is this thing about cheating, or he says you should tell me something. It reminded me of very different story. But 2 years ago, last year, this film came out called The World's Worst Person, the worst person in the world.
Worst person in the world, yes.
Um, which also I liked a lot because of the fact that you had these characters who had flaws, and they were making mistakes, and yet they were just very likable. But I thought Slow was absolutely is brilliant. And when you mentioned, I checked, it is Lithuania's entry for the Oscars, so I hope it at least gets a nomination because there are some very strong films in that category. So many others to come. Can I also give my sort of
Special
my
honorable
11th
mentions, yes.
honorable mention? An Indian film called Berlin.
We have
Um,
watched this together. Yes.
तुम्हारे साथ देखी थी मैंने, हाँ हाँ. तो
Yes.
मुझे बर्लिन, I thought first of all, it's set in the early 1990s, so I think that idea I thought was fascinating. They capture the mood, the clothes people used to wear. They're also very muted colors. Everybody's wearing grays or darkish colors. Walls, वगैरह भी. So they did a great job of that. What I also liked was that often, usually when we see these these uh, स्पाई थ्रिलर्स कह लो, जो भी कुछ कह लो, इट्स ऑलवेज इंडिया पाकिस्तान की स्टोरी होती है,
Hmm.
Pakistan evil and all. And
Hmm.
then they do bring an IS, I think, element in towards the end. But I think
हाँ.
it's what impressed me was that this was about Russia, and a plot to probably assassinate the Russian president. Um, I thought the three main male characters, all three were brilliant. And Ishwak Singh though was so good as a, and he's deaf and dumb. He's a spy, but um, Apar Shakti Khurana also, who communicates with him, and Rahul Bose as a flawed um,
Hmm. Some
intelligence
bureau agent.
agent, something.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I
Like
like
वो
Berlin. I thought
आपको वो उस सीरीज की याद नहीं आई थी, लाइक द सीरीज
Family
व्हिच,
Man.
no, 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 not the family man, with it's the series which stars Jeff Daniels and Peter Sarsgaard. I'm forgetting that it's about the 9/11, like just before the 9/11, like the origins of 9/11.
I
um
don't think I've seen it.
okay, so it's a show on Amazon Prime. I'm just check it out. Like it has Jeff Daniels in it, and it's an amazing show. So
Not
like if you,
newsroom. Not
no,
newsroom.
no,
No, no,
not the
no.
newsroom, not the newsroom, but it's just give me a moment. I'm just searching. It's a great show. I would just like the Looming Tower.
Oh, I haven't seen it. Acha.
Yes, the Looming
Uh,
Towers. I have my
I've heard
friend
about it. Yeah,
Amartya
yeah.
Acharya, who
Somebody
is
also wrote to
like
yeah, yeah.
yes, the Looming Tower. So it's about the tension between the CIA and the FBI, and
Acha.
because like अगर एक information मिलती है तो who will, like पहले उसको कौन grab करेगा, कौन उस पे action लेगा, the CIA और the FBI. FBI बोलते तो हम करेंगे, तो CIA को inform नहीं करेंगे, क्योंकि
Hmm.
उनके टैक्टिक्स अलग है और हमारी टैक्टिक अलग है. एंड यहाँ पे भी ऐसी लग रहा था कि अगर ब्यूरो को कुछ मिलेगा तो विंग को इन्फॉर्म नहीं
Hmm.
करेंगे, विंग को कुछ मिलेगा. सो दिस वाज वैसे, क्योंकि दोनों को अपना अपना क्रेडिट लेना है
Right, right, right,
प्राइम
right, right,
मिनिस्टर
right.
से. सो ये वैसा लग रहा था लाइक मुझे, बट आई ऑल्सो लाइक दैट फिल्म. सच में एक्टिंग काफी अच्छी थी यार इशवक सिंह की, एंड इवन अपार शक्ति एज वेल. एंड वैसे, सो यस, फॉर माय गोल्डन पिक, आई वुड लव, आपने तो ये फिल्म देखी है, इट्स टेरेस्ट्रियल वर्सेस,
Oh yeah,
which
very
is
good.
by Ali
The Iranian
Abbasi.
film. Yeah.
Yes, the Iranian film. एब्सोल्यूट अमेजिंग फिल्म. मतलब मेरी नींद उड़ा दी थी उस फिल्म ने, कि एक एक हर एक स्टोरी इतनी यूनिक थी. ऐसी जस्ट कैमरा के सामने लोग सिर्फ लाइक लोग ऐसे बोल रहे अपना, लाइक कॉन्वर्सेशन, जस्ट कॉन्वर्सेशंस. एंड लाइक इफ यू डोंट लव कॉन्वर्सेशन, फिर भी देखो, बिकॉज वो कॉन्वर्सेशन भी काफी यूनिक है. लाइक जस्ट अपने फेस में है कि क्या हो रहा है, अरे बाप रे ऐसा, और जस्ट स्टूपिड थिंग्स हैपनिंग, कि वो यार स्क्रिप्ट में ये सब चेंजेस करना पड़ेगा, वो स्क्रिप्ट फाड़ देते हैं. एंड यार ये अभी स्क्रिप्ट कनेक्टेड ही नहीं है कि क्या क्या, जैसे,
Yeah,
और
but
वो
it's sorry for cutting you, but it's a very strong critique of the Iranian government. It's a very
ओके.
strong critique of the system, the censorship, and all sort of other social censorships. Tattoos क्यों है and all, and the director has now been banned from making films anymore. So it's a very political film also. But anyway, go ahead.
ओके, नो, एक्चुअली मैं वही बोला कि जब भी वो जो स्क्रिप्ट वाला सीन आ गया था, द
Yeah,
ऑडियंस इरप्टेड इन अपलॉज. ऐसा हो गया था बिकॉज लाइक एवरीवन इन मामी, देयर आर सिनेफाइल्स एंड फिल्म मेकर्स अलाइक. फिल्म मेकर्स जो थे, आई थिंक उन लोग तालियां बजाने लगे, बिकॉज दे वर काइंड ऑफ रिलेटिंग टू दैट इंसिडेंट, कि यार ये सीन नहीं चाहिए, वैसे ये सीन नहीं चाहिए, एंड
yeah, but
पीपल वर
that
गोइंग
was
क्रेजी.
that was censorship. You see, in Iran, it's censorship, and that's what is very. But I understand people can connect to different levels and all. But बहुत smart film है. Yeah.
एब्सोल्युटली, सच में बहुत स्मार्ट. और एक स्टोरी था, आई थिंक सेकंड वाला, जो व्हिच इज ऑफ फ्रॉम द पर्सपेक्टिव ऑफ द लिटिल गर्ल who is caught by her principal or teacher, something teacher, who फिर जाके बोलते कि यार आपने पापा को बुलाओ, और पापा को बुलाओ, और फिर बोलते कि नहीं 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 मैं नहीं, फिर
Hmm.
जाके वो अपने वो उनको उनको ही फंसा देते. So it was such an amazing film. Every story is unique. Har ek story, as you rightly mentioned, critiquing about the current government in Iran, काफी relatable Indian context में भी लग रही थी यार. यहाँ पे वो जो या वो censorship वाला जैसा था, so वो वाली चीज है, लेकिन amazing. And also my just an honorable mention I would like to say. मैंने वैसे तो ये एक फिल्म देखी, नसीर. नसीर तो वैसे है ही, लोगों को पता
Oh,
है,
Nasir, yeah, yeah, yeah. I
लेकिन
thought it's
मैं
Nasir, but it's
हाँ,
Nasir or Nasir. I wrote.
नसीर
Yeah.
नासिर मुझे भी नहीं पता है, बट क्या, लाइक मुझे भी नहीं पता है.
Tamil film. Yeah, yeah.
तमिल फिल्म, यस. बट वो फिल्म तो लोग को खैर पता है, सोनी लिव पे भी है वैसे. बट एक फिल्म है जो लोग को ज्यादा नहीं पता है, एंड आई हैव वॉच्ड दिस फिल्म इन द रेट्रोस्पेक्टिव सेक्शन, व्हिच इज कॉल्ड अगात, which is directed by Govind
गोविंद
Nellani.
निलानी. अच्छा,
That's
मैंने
right.
वो नहीं देखी. हाँ, उसमें वो था क्या?
So,
ओमपुरी था. हाँ.
Om Puri, Amrish Puri, and this I am forgetting the full name. Raina, like he has acted in many Indian,
के
like
के रायना.
KK
दो
Raina.
रायना
Yes.
है. एम के रायना, के रायना. हाँ.
KK Raina, that's
के
right.
रायना. हाँ.
So, like he is kind of the mediator between the company and the unions, both the unions. So it's just about the two unions, where one is recognized by the company and the other one isn't recognized, but is about like is they are gathering the people, and like
हाँ.
getting the votes of the people to recognize their union as well.
हम्म,
So
हम्म,
it's about the clashes between the two unions, and कैसे
हम्म.
हम लोग की हक की लड़ाई लड़ेंगे, और इन लोग भी वही बोलते हैं, इन लोग ज्यादा मांगे करते तो हम भी ज्यादा करेंगे. एंड जस्ट अमरीश पुरी, सॉरी, ओम पुरी's character dealing with the like he's the head of the union, the one union which is recognized, and like वो कैसे जूझते हैं, उनके दिमाग में क्या क्या बीतती है. It's an amazing film. Like last का monologue, it's never to miss. I think you should definitely check it out, this film.
Yeah, I'm gonna
और
find that
मैंने
somehow. Yeah.
एक से बात की थी, like a friend, उन्होंने वही बोला कि ये फिल्म आई थी अर्ध सत्य, ये सब फिल्म्स के बाद, और
उसके
ये
बाद आई
इतनी
आक्रोश
टॉक्ड अबाउट
सत्य.
नहीं थी. Yes, ये इतनी टॉक्ड अबाउट नहीं थी as compared to his other films, like from Govind Nellani. It has Nasruddin Shah as well. छोटा सा cameo है उनका, लेकिन but it's quite a quite a weight as well. So yes, these are our picks for the Geo Mami 2023 Mumbai Film Festival. Hope to see you soon, Aseem, in Mumbai. और जब दिल्ली आते हैं, तभी मैं, जब भी दिल्ली आता हूँ तभी आपसे जरूर मिलेंगे.
We'll connect.
आप
Yeah.
अगर मुंबई आते तो जरूर मिलिए यहाँ पे.
पक्का. Yeah.
Definitely.
So,
Thank you so much,
so
Aseem.
thank you for having me on the show. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely loved hosting